We are going to do a little experimenting here. I, of course, do not have a frame rack or anything of the sorts. So what I'm going to do is I've got my Suburban part here. I've got some heavy-duty 3-inch ratchet straps. And I'm going to hook the ratchet straps from the hitch on the Suburban to the core support on the 98 here. And I'm going to put it in drive and I'm going to floor it. And I'm going to jerk that front end right straight on the car. Good idea? No, I'm not really going to do that. I'm just going to attach the ratchet straps from one to the other here and just kind of tighten them up. Basically what I want to do is I want to see if I can snug it up tight enough and allow the core support to come away from the engine some, at least so I can get the car started and make it mobile around my yard, my backyard here, so I can move it around a bit without having to push the darn thing. The engine did run. I did fire it up after it got wrecked and drove it off the road to a lot on the side. So we're going to see how this goes. Been a couple of days since I straightened out what I could with some ratchet straps in the Suburban. You'll redneck go-to, right? You know, could have done chain tree reverse, but don't have a chain. So my goal here is I'm going to try and get this car started. It has not been started since the accident. It did run after the accident. I was able to, once the two cars were separated, I was able to get in, fire it up, and drive it down the road a little bit and get it to a little parking lot. So the engine should run. The batteries have been disconnected. They've been leaking. They got crunched pretty hard. So we'll see. They did have 12.5 volts in them the other day when I tested them. So with any luck, I should be able to hook them up and fire it up. So before I do that, you can see I've got the core support looking factory here. Looks really, really good. Perfect. Mint. Looks good. All we gotta do is a little duct tape here, you know. It'll be good as new. Look at that. See, it says Oldsmobile still. Well, close enough, right? So, it fell. Hood doesn't open any further than this. We got something going on here. Little crunch. Weird. So what we gotta do, what I have is the fan. I don't know how good you can see that down in there, but the fan is completely mangled. It is shoved right into, and it is not moving. It is bound right up, and if I move it, it actually spins the whole engine. So I'm going to take the nuts off here and pull that fan off, put the nuts back on so the water pump pulley stays on, and I believe we should be good to run then. So Move the camera up on the tripod and we'll get that done. There's all kinds of room in here. Let's see. I hope this thing starts up. I think it will. I'm pretty confident. But you just never know. That nut, I'm not even sure if that's going to come off all the way. Get these other ones here. So I'm thinking what I might end up doing, I was kind of restless last night, browsing Marketplace. What I might end up doing is, you know, the tan car, that thing is close to being roadworthy. I mean, it really needs a brake line and some tires. And so I've thought about just getting some tires for it. And I actually found a set locally. I messaged the guy earlier today. Of course, he hasn't messaged me back yet. But I messaged him on a set of 235/70/15s, which is the same size that's on this car. They're not Vogues, they're just some Hankook white walls. But I think they do just fine. And I'm actually kind of tossing around the thought of getting a Harbor Freight manual tire changer. I've seen some videos of them online. And, you know, these big sidewall 15-inch tires. I've actually changed these tires manually with a you know, a screwdriver and a floor jack basically, and have done all right with that. So if I had something like that, I could actually bolt to my floor. I think I'd actually come out pretty good. And then at that point, all I'd have to pay for, other than, you know, the tire mount itself, is have to take it up and just get them balanced. So I think I already have some 3/16 nickel copper brake line. So I'm basically, you know, the tire is away and the flare tool away. So I've got the cheapy flare tools, and you guys know those things are junk. They're not worth using. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. Let's move this thing up. Okay. Yeah, those flare tools are not worth using. The cheap dump-on ones. Hey, there we go. We got a fan. So you can see that fan stem is just mangled. It's bad. So that's no good. So we'll toss this aside. Spin these nuts back on. So now, of course, get this thing running. There's no plans. There's not going to be any coolant in it, or, you know, very minimum coolant in it. You know, the radiator is completely destroyed. So I'm not going to run it for any amount of time. I basically just want to be able to get it running to where if I want to move it around the driveway, I can move it. It can be mobile at least, instead of just having to push the thing around. That's a major pain. It's not fun. So we'll get these other ones on. I'll grab my socket and hook the batteries up. This should go pretty good. I was actually kind of surprised how far I was able to move that core support forward. It moved quite a bit. I mean, it is just sheet metal. There's no heavy frame or anything there with it. So let's see if I can get this done easier. That one's pretty hard on there. But yeah, when I first started, the batteries, both batteries were wedged so tight I couldn't even move them. And now I could actually get them out right now if I wanted to, both of them. So it gives me hope. Still not sure. I mean, like I said a little bit ago, I'm kind of tossing around the idea now of actually having both of these cars fixed and on the road. I know somebody suggested that in the comments on my previous video. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, ideally, if I could find another parts car for this, I would love to find one of these cars that was smashed in the back. They're just, you know, they're hard to find. I did see there was another one on Marketplace in of course, I want to say it was Indiana again. Illinois, I don't know. One of them two down there. Found another one sitting in this guy's lot. $750 for the whole car, but it's just been sitting there. It's all, I'm sure the whole car is probably junk. No title with it. But it's almost kind of like the perfect deal for this. Is it also, just like this Gold one I purchased, has everything I need. But the problem is I have only so much room here at my house, and you know, my wife loves me, but I don't know if she loves me that much. You know, she's pretty forgiving, but you know, having 3 of these cars around is not exactly ideal. Probably for most people. She supports my hobby, but to an extent, you know, everything has its limits. Okay, there's that. Grab the 5/16. Let's see. There we go. Now, hopefully this goes well. This has not been touched since the accident. Tighten up that positive. I don't know. That spark was pretty weak. I don't know if there's much of any actual juice left in this battery or not. We'll find out. Those glow plugs are going to take quite the bite once I get them hooked on. Just enough room with the fan there, or with the radiator fan. I think we're good there. I'll wash my sore head. Oh, let's see here. Get this negative on. Like I said, these batteries have both been leaking as well, so I don't know. They showed 12.5 volts, but who knows how much they'll actually be able to output under a load. You know, see these glow plugs and that heavy-duty starter in this thing, they take quite a bit of juice to move. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is very promising or not. The engine I feel is promising. The battery situation I feel maybe may leave a little to be desired. Okay, well, they're both hooked up. Flashlight here. Just kind of check some things out. Make sure nothing's going to be bad. Oh, yeah, I've got some crank pulley there. Okay, I don't see anything that's going to be too detrimental. Guess we will see. I feel like we definitely had some stuff pushed around here as well. Not really much of a surprise. I want to open up this garage door. I'm sure it's going to smoke. View around. Okay, let's see if it'll start up. See if we have glow plugs. See if we have anything. We have interior lights. Hey, we have interior lights. All right, well, a moment of truth. Here we go. Glow plugs. And let them cycle. All right, here we go. Let's see. Put it in gear and see if it'll move around a little bit. Well, I think that's proof right there. We still got a runner. That's some good news. Shut the garage door. That makes me really happy. I really like that. That is good stuff. So I figured it would run, but you just don't know. That's really that's impressive. Those batteries, I really thought those batteries were going to be completely junk. Oh, there it is. I got the core support pulled out a little bit. We're going to have some work to do here, obviously. You get the fender off, get the hood off. A little bit of crunch up here by the door. Inner wheel well, obviously, is pretty bad on mostly just this side. Cooling stack, radiator, the core support there, the radiator, the AC condenser. I mean, really, hell, I don't know. This is kind of surprising. I mean, I guess I can't say it's surprising. I expected it to run, but you just never know. And now actually seeing it run and actually being able to put it in gear, and I didn't move it far, just a couple inches back and forth. But it just gives you hope, to see, what could potentially be again. I mean, I've done some minor stuff before, but I've never done anything to this extent. And it kind of sounds like a lot of people are saying it's an easy fix. It's an easy fix, and who knows? Maybe it is. I mean, people have been doing this for longer than I've been alive. I mean, this car is older than me, so maybe it is a pretty easy fix. Maybe it is as simple as a fender and a core support and a hood and miscellaneous parts, and maybe this thing's back on the road. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I like reading your comments. It's words of encouragement for me. Helps drive me to do this and keep going with it. I like seeing it. I try to comment on as many of them as I can. Progress is going to be kind of slow. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I've got this. I still have that Buick Park Avenue Ultra. One of these days, I'm going to get that transmission put back together and get that in that car. Get that out of here. This winter, I want this and the other 98 in here. If I can make that work, I'd like to have that happen. I've got my Suburban I have to get in here. I've got a bad clunk in the front somewhere. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a ball joint or what. When I first bought that thing, I checked everything. Everything looked really tight. But I don't know. I've got a bad clunk up there, so I got to get that in there. I am hemorrhaging power steering fluid in that. When I drove down to just south of Indianapolis to buy that tan 98, I went through 2 quarts of power steering fluid on the way there and back. It's leaking that bad, so that's a must-do. I've got to get that done. I've got my 2000 Cadillac Seville. I've got a wheel bearing and a tie rod to put on that. Probably some shocks, a couple of little things, but I've got little stuff to do here and there on my daily driver. They got a water pump. My wife's 2018 Durango RT. If you know the Hemi, you know those things they love to eat water pumps apparently. So love that Durango. Really, really do. But man, it's ridiculous to have a water pump go out that quick. Other than that, I don't know. We're going to get some stuff going here. I've got some house stuff as well. So videos, I don't know. I'd like to try to get a video once a week, once every other week. We'll see how it goes. I'd like to get some more out. Get a good base going. I like showing this stuff. I like to get out there with other like-minded people and just kind of see what I can do. So that's going to be it for now. Till next time.